Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. What if I told you there was a king, so powerful, so wise? He commanded the wind, spoke to animals, and ruled over jinn. Sounds like a legend, right? But this is real. Sayyiduna Solayman, King Solomon alayhi salam, wasn't just any ruler. His kingdom was unmatched. His miracles beyond imagination. But here is the twist. It wasn't just about power, it was about faith, justice, a deep, unshakable connection with Allah Azza wa Jalla. Picture this with me. A bird delivering top secret intel. Queen humbled by a throne that moves in the blink of an eye. A palace made of glass so clear it tricks the eye. This isn't just history, it's one of the most mind-blowing stories you'll ever here. So get comfy because we're diving into a story like no other. Let's talk about the prophet, king who had it all, but knew exactly where true power comes from. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, let's start with the basics. Sayyiduna Solayman alayhi salam was a prophet and a king, the son of Sayyiduna Dawood alayhi salam. He inherited a vast kingdom, but more importantly, he inherited wisdom. A gift straight from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wasn't just any ruler, he was blessed with understanding, leadership, and divine guidance. The Quran basically tells us وورث سليمان داود وقال يا أيها الناس علمنا منطق الطير وأوتينا من كل شيء إن هذا لهو الفضل المبين. And Solomon inherited David. He said, O people, we have been taught the speech of birds, and we have been given from all things. Indeed, this is evident bounty. Yep, you heard that right. He could understand animals. Imagine stepping outside and the birds are literally talking to you, telling secrets about the world. Crazy, right? That's just one of his incredible abilities. Think about it. What if every animal around you had something important to say? The world would be a completely different place. So, where did Sulaiman alayhi salam live? Right in the heart of history, Jerusalem, Al-Quds, the blessed land. Not just any place, it's his kingdom, his rule, his temple, a land where miracles walked. He rebuilt Masjid al-Aqsa, led his people, ruled with wisdom, but that wasn't just bricks and stone. It was faith. It was a legacy. And you know what? Sayyiduna Sulaiman alayhi salam asked Allah for something special. Not gold, not riches, not just power. He wanted a kingdom, unmatched, untouchable. A rule with no other. One of a kind. رب اغفر لي وهب لي ملكا. My Lord, forgive me and grant me a kingdom. No one after him would have it. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He granted him it. Now, brothers and sisters, let's talk about his mind-blowing powers. Allah gave him control over the wind, making travel a breeze, literally. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, raising your hand, and suddenly the wind changes direction at your command. That's next level power. فسخرنا له الريح تجري بأمره رخاء حيث أصاب. So we subjected to him the wind blowing by his command, gently wherever he directed. And that's not all. Sulaiman alayhi salam had an army unlike any other. Jinn, humans, animals, everyone followed his command. Just imagine an entire workforce made up of beings you can't even see, tirelessly building monuments, collecting resources, and traveling across dimensions. Now that's leadership. You wouldn't even need construction companies at those days, I think. And this, brothers and sisters, a reminder of a story told by an ant. This one is a personal favorite for me. One day, Sulaiman alayhi salam and his army were marching thousands of men, horses and creatures moving in sync. Suddenly, an ant warns its fellow ants to hurry underground before they get crushed. And guess what? Sulaiman alayhi salam actually hears it. حتى إذا أتوا على وادي النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. Until when they came upon the valley of the ants, an ant said, O ants, enter your dwellings so that Solomon and his soldiers do not crush you while they are unaware. And what does Sulaiman alayhi salam do? He smiles, grateful to Allah for his gift. No arrogance, no ego, just pure gratitude. A leader who listens to even the smallest creatures. Now, that's greatness. And here on another day, he's scanning his kingdom, looking over his force. Then, something's off, something missing. وتفقد الطير قال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد. And he inspected the birds and said, why do I not see the hoop? And now Sulaiman alayhi salam, he isn't happy. No excuses, no absence. If that bird didn't have a solid reason. لأعذبنه عذابا شديدا أو لأذبحنه. I'll surely punish him severely or I slaughter him. Yes, it was that serious. But then, what happened? The hoop returns and what does he say? أحط بما لم تحط به. I have come to know what you do not know. Oh, now Sulaiman alayhi salam is listening. The bird spells the story. وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ يقين. And I have come to you from Sheba with sure news. A kingdom far away, a land called Saba, rich, glorious, a queen named Bilqis, powerful, respected, but they worship the sun, not Allah Azza wa Jal. At that moment, I'm sure Sulaiman alayhi salam takes a pose. A mighty kingdom, a queen with power, but they bow to the sun. وجدتها وقومها يسجدون للشمس من دون الله. I found her and her people prostrating to the sun instead of Allah. That had to change. Sulaiman alayhi salam doesn't send an army, not yet. First, a message, a letter, simple, clear, powerful. إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It's from Solomon and it's in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. No small talks, no pleasantries, just a command. ألا تعلوا علي وأتوني مسلمين. Don't act arrogantly with me, but come to me in submission. A choice. Peacefully submit or face what's coming. Now on the other hand, here is the twist. Bilqis. She is no fool. She reads the letter, feels the weight of it, but she doesn't rush. Calls her council. يا أيها الملأ افتوني في أمري. O chiefs, advise me in my matter. While the council, they are ready to fight. نحن أولو قوة وأولو بأس شديد. We are people of strength and mighty in battle. They want war. But Bilqis, she is smarter than that. She sends gifts, expensive, luxurious, a test. Let's see if this king can be bribed. But Sulaiman alayhi salam laughs it off. فما آتاني الله خير مما آتاكم. What Allah has given me is better than what He has given you. Gold, jewels, that's nothing. He's got a kingdom under Allah's command. Now Sulaiman alayhi salam, he's got an idea, a test. Who can bring her throne before she even arrives? Jan, أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك. I'll bring it to you before you rise from your seat. That's fast, but not fast enough. Then, a man with knowledge from the book steps forward. أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك. I'll bring it to you before your gaze returns to you. Before he even blinks, the throne, boom. Right there, Sulaiman alayhi salam tweaks it, just a little, sees if she recognizes it, and then she arrives, sees it. قيل أهكذا عرشك؟ قالت كأنه هو. She was asked, is your throne like this? She said, it looks just like it. Then, one last test, the glass palace. She thinks it's water, lifts her dress, steps carefully, but nah, it's solid glass. إنه صرح ممرد من قوارير. It's a palace paved with glass. And right there, brothers and sisters, she gets it. This isn't just power, this is divine. She surrenders. وأسلمت مع سليمان لله رب العالمين. And I submit with Solomon to Allah, Lord of the worlds. And now, brothers and sisters, here we are at the last chapter. Here is what's mind-blowing. His death. It wasn't witnessed. No one saw it happen. No one even knew. Not his soldiers, not his people, not even the jinn who worked for him. How did it happen? Sulaiman alayhi salam was overseeing a massive project. The jinn hard at work, building a grand structure. Some say it was Bayt al-Maqdis, Masjid al-Aqsa. His presence kept them obedient. As long as he watched, they couldn't slack off. Now imagine this with me. Sulaiman alayhi salam stood there, leaning on his staff, watching, observing, unmoving. But what they didn't know, he had already passed away. Standing, silent, eyes open, looking strong, yet lifeless. فلما قضينا عليه الموت ما دلهم على موته إلا دابة الأرض. And when we decreed Solomon's death, nothing indicated to them his death except a creature of the earth. The jinn kept working, the men kept building. Nobody knew. Days passed, maybe weeks, but he remained standing, as if alive. And then, something so small, so insignificant, revealed the truth. A termite, just a tiny insect. Bite after bite, it gnawed at his staff. Slowly, silently, the staff weakened, then cracked. And then here is the snap. The staff broke and Sulaiman alayhi salam, he fell. And right then, brothers and sisters, the jinn froze, stopped working, eyes wide, minds racing. All this time, they thought he was watching them, but he had been gone. فلما خر تبينت الجن أن لو كانوا يعلمون الغيب ما لبثوا في العذاب المهين. Then when he fell, it became clear to the jinn that if they had known the unseen, they wouldn't have remained in humiliating punishment. For all their power, for all their knowledge, the jinn didn't know a thing. The lesson? Who really holds the power? Sayyiduna Sulaiman alayhi salam had everything. A kingdom like no other, control over beings human couldn't even see, but death, it came silently, without warning. And the jinn, they weren't all-knowing. If they were, they wouldn't have been working like slaves for a dead man. This, brothers and sisters, was Allah's way of proving only He knows the unseen. Only He decides time. Power, wealth, status, it all fades. Even the greatest kings fall. But what stays? Faith, submission to Allah Azza wa Jal. That's the real legacy. So, what's the takeaway here? Power, wisdom, miracles. None of it matters if you don't have faith. Sulaiman alayhi salam had everything, but he stayed humble, grateful, and just. That's the real lesson. It's not about having power, it's about how you see it. Alright, that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Who's another prophet you wanna hear about? Let me know and I'll see ya in the next time. Peace.